guys, welcome back to the Yarnquisitions Knitting Podcast. I'm Celine and I'm in the bedroom because the lighting here is just much better than at my desk in the other room, and got a new setup. I got this shelf from my friend who's moving to SoCal, so that's a long journey and they're trying to get rid of stuff, so I just got this one. And as you can see, I am displaying my sweaters. Got my clean ones, the need to wash ones underneath, and my projects on top, but I'm gonna keep this clean so that I can dry my sweaters or fold my sweaters on the top. I might keep some of my yarn on here as well, but I know that my boyfriend will not like that. But if I do that, then I'll have more room in the closet, because part of my closet is just yarn, so maybe that would be better for my closet space. And because I have some all the sweaters here, then it frees up some rack space, because I've been hanging all my shit, and a lot of my sweaters did stretch at the shoulders, but it didn't stretch anywhere else, so that's a good thing, I guess. And I'm wearing my sycamore sweater by petiteknit, and I knit this at an 18 stitch gauge instead of a 16. So technically this is a size smaller than the X small. I think that's why this sweater is tighter than the pictures that petiteknit has, because the sweater that she has is really loose and more oversized than this sweater. This is more fitted, but it still has a lot of positive ease on the body, but for the arms it's kind of tight, but it's still loose. And I washed it, so it won't fit as tight as it did when I didn't wash it or block it. It's nice and washed and blocked. And I used the two JC Rennie Supersoft colors, the powder blue and ugie pearl. And then for the white stripe, I used Drops Flora in a white and white fog. And then for the whole thing, the Drops brushed alpaca silk in what's the color? In the color Mist? Not 100% sure on that, so I'll just put it in the description as I usually do. Let's see, what else? If you're new to this channel, I just do knitting content. And yeah, and one more thing I want to address. I just put these here to dry. So they're dry now, so I'm gonna put them away later or after the podcast. But yeah, I wore these for because they're my camisoles for the summer. I wore them for the past week and a half or 2 weeks or something. I actually get a lot of use out of these tanks and camisoles, even though I thought I wouldn't. But when it gets really hot, it gets really hot. But thankfully, even though this apartment doesn't have AC, it stays pretty cool for the most part. Except for when I open windows on hot days, then it's just really killer. There's no relief from the heat. And we haven't really had any cloudy days So every time I go outside, I'm just like, oh, it's kind of hot. Like, I shouldn't have worn this sweater, but here we are. I stay regretting my decisions and don't change. So there's that. So one thing I finished is this swatch that I made with the Oogie Pearl, the JC Rennie Oogie Pearl. No, it's the JC Rennie Supersoft in the color Oogie Pearl. And the Supersoft is like 100% in lamb's wool or something like that. And what I don't really like about the Supersoft is that it really doesn't contract that much, like when you knit it, because compared to like the extra fine merino, for also 4-ply, they're both 4-ply. That one really like contracts a lot. It's much like a much more bouncier yarn than this rustic yarn, because I knit this one in on a 3mm, and knit the middle one on a 2.75mm, and I knit the top one on a 2.5mm needle. And for the 3mm, I got 32 stitches per 10 centimeters. The 2.75 millimeters, I got 34 stitches per 10 centimeters, and then for the 2.5, I got 36 stitches per 10 centimeters, which is the gauge I was looking for, is the 36 stitch gauge. I did the swatch for like as a like replacement yarn for the yarn that I'm using for my self-drafted design. Low-key kind of worried that no one will find a yarn that has as much bounce back when you're knitting with it. And this is unwashed, and I haven't washed the one I was making either, so maybe it's a bad idea. But I find that this yarn and the yarn that I'm using for my self-drafted design also doesn't really change the gauge when you wash it. It like really doesn't change. Even when you like stretch it and then you like go it, like when you stretch it and wash it, or when you wash and stretch it, like when it's on the floor, it can retain that shape, but then when you lift it up, it kind of like goes back to the original before washing. So it's kind of like, does it really do anything when you block it besides make the fabric more like flowy? Like, I don't know. This 4-ply, the Supersoft 4-ply on 2.5, that's a really like nice dense fabric. I kind of like it. Although 2.75 is not bad. It's very similar to the 2.5, but the 2.5 millimeter definitely has more structure than a 2.75. And then the 3, I just fucking hate it because it's so holy. And it's kind of nice that I did this because I have 3 colors in this 4-ply, so it can guide me on like what I can make in the future, or like what I want to make, or for my like future designs. I'll have this to refer to get like the fabric or the stitch gauge I want. So yeah, it'll be handy in the future. And for my test knit, that's in this petiteknit bag. This is the knitter string bag in the plaid that she has, that's now sold out, but I think there's like a new one, but it might be sold out by now. So technically I did finish this, and this is it's inside out. This is handmade by Florence's petal drop camisole. Took me a while to remember that, but I have to undo the I cords and then knit the straps longer, because right now it sits really high for me, at least, because it sits kind of like right here, but I want it to be lower, or maybe like right here. Like that's kind of high, and my collarbone's right here. That's too high for me to be comfortable in the tank, because it kind of feels kind of really restricting in this area. But I knit this the same as the June top that I have right here. Knit the straps, the distance between the bottom of the armhole to the top of the strap, and knit that the same distance, which is like 8, or on this is 8.5 inches. And that's too short for this design, I find. Even when I stretch out the straps like a lot, it's still too short. And the front and the back is the same, so I have this to mark the front, this stitch marker to mark the front, but when you're using it, it really doesn't matter. It's the same front and back. So that makes me have like 1,000 loose ends, so yay me. Because I have to weave in all those ends again, because I wove in all the ends first before trying it on. After finishing all the I cords, definitely don't weave in the ends until you're done with the I cords, because before you're putting on the I cords, the straps will be like kind of stretchier and won't lay nicely, so you kind of have to guess how long to make it. But I think that's for most camisoles or tanks that have straps. You're still gonna have to do that either way. And yeah, I just haven't done it, and it's due in like 2 weeks, so I'm probably gonna undo the I cords today or something, because I gotta get her done. And I still have like at least half of this left, so that means I used 1.5 skeins of pure silk. So it doesn't really use too much. I thought it would take much more, just because it is a lace design. And I knitted to pattern except the straps, I think. And then in my typical bliss, there is probably yarn in here bag. I still am working on my self-drafted design, and I'm on the second cone, and each cone has 850 meters, so I feel like by the time I'm done with the sleeve, which is the only thing I have left to do, then I would have used half of the cone. So that's what, 1,200, 1,300 meters. Kind of a lot, but if it's like a 4-ply, like a true 4-ply, like a 250 meters per 50 grams, then, you know, it'll be good. But this is actually 280 meters per 50 grams, because it's like more lightweight and it's extra fine merino, so yeah. So I tried it on already, and the neck fits super nice. And I kind of fucked up the arm a little bit and the armhole, because I made this like to a 40 centimeter, like 20 centimeters, measuring from the top to the bottom on both sides. But I should have done my original, which was 16 centimeters on both sides, which comes out to like 32 centimeters circumference. So yeah, I should have done that so it could fit much more nicely instead of have like a huge like gap between my actual arm and like, so I fucked that up. I know I did my increases like really tightly, and then I got this little small sleeve here, which is supposed to be like 6 inches circumference. So it's kind of nice that it stays snug on my arm, just so that it like doesn't ride up or go down too far or whatever. I definitely learned how to calculate like everything a little better, so I don't have like this weird like bat wing kind of sleeve. So if I ever knit this again, I'll probably not do that, but I don't have enough yarn to do this, so I don't know. So probably after I take some photos, I might just undo the whole thing. Is that fucking weird? Like, I don't know. I might undo until like the middle of the front and back panels, because I just really want to make it nice. I don't have extra yarn, so there's that. Yeah, I just hope when I do my calculations it'll be fine. I don't know how to size up my shit for different sizes, so that's probably gonna be a huge learning curve. Got a little croissant scarf, and that's all I've been working on, just trying to finish this stupid sleeve, and all my 3mm needles are now stained black. Yeah, if it gives like this kind of like gray cast to the needles, or like black streaks, so that's the con of knitting with black yarn. But I heard that if you have the Signet Koshitsu needles, then it doesn't really stain that much. Okay, and I'll see you guys next month, in 2 weeks. We don't know. Bye.